follow me on Twitch.
Hey live streamers, make content on other platforms. That's the advice that you hear the most when it comes to how to grow on Twitch or even YouTube Live. So I've been trying to make more videos to kind of help you through this process. The thing is, every single person is different. Every single artist, every single creator is going to be different. So all I can do is give you a lot of examples, hoping that one of those will resonate with you and you will find it compelling. So with that being said, in today's video, what I want to talk about is the answer that I hear from live streamers when I tell them, hey, are you making content on other platforms? They usually say, I want to, but I don't know what to make. So I sat down and I made a little list of different types of content that the typical live streamer should be able to do for other platforms. Now, the big disclaimer that comes here is that I'm not necessarily pushing you to become a YouTuber, a TikToker, or an Instagrammer. If you are serious about building this career as a content creator, simply practicing making content on those other platforms will give you the skills to be flexible enough to grab all the opportunities that will be presented to you. I understand that you just want to sit here, live stream your favorite games while being paid. But you, as a multimedia content creator, one day a company is going to ask you to record a video where you're speaking to the camera without your chat, without playing a video game, and you're going to feel awkward. Why? Because you never practiced it before. So this is what I want to encourage you to do. Being comfortable and being able to express yourself comfortably in front of a camera, being able to do basic editing, being able to do basic graphic design are all skills that will help you in this career that you're trying to build. Anyways, I'm guessing this video is probably going to be pretty long because I'm going to go through a bunch of examples and probably elaborate on them. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and we'll begin after this message from our sponsor. And this portion of the video is sponsored by Owned Pro. Owned Pro, as you know, is the service that allows you to have access to everything you need as a live streamer. But wait, something new just happened with Owned Pro. On top of the 600 plus premium overlays that are available in multiple languages, on top of their one-click overlay and alert installer, on top of the chatbot that they give you, there's this new tab on your dashboard, which is the Epidemic sound collaboration with Owned Pro, providing you with DMCA free music so you can live stream and play music in the background with this big list of music genres. Check this out, there's even a sound effect tab. Now, the basic version of Owned Pro is free, but if you upgrade, you will get full access to Epidemic sound. But don't get too scared about the prices, because if you enter code GALE, then go to checkout, you will get a whole 50% off. So I'll let you check it out at own.gg/GalLevelPro. That is own3d.gg/GalLevelPro. Okay, so there isn't any specifics when it comes to the content length. Those can most of the time apply both to long form content and short form content. There also isn't any specifics for when it comes to platforms, although we know that YouTube Shorts is kind of blowing up right now. TikTok is a very good platform when it comes to the algorithm. Instagram Reels is not bad, but very specific on what they expect you to do. So just listen to the idea and apply them on any platform that you want. I don't want you to be discouraged because I'm like, this is great for TikTok. And then you're like, I hate TikTok. Anyways, let's begin. All right, number one is one example that I already gave in a lot of my videos is the good old Mythbusters. And the reason why I have this example is because it's something that I watch. There's a channel called Defend the House. They do Mythbusters on a bunch of video games. Basically, they go on Reddit and people ask questions or people give those myths, and then they go in the video game, they test it out with some cool music in the background. There's no speaking whatsoever, and it's amazing, and it works. They get a lot of views from it. They do Call of Duty, Halo, and all games like that. It's extra interesting to watch, especially when the game has like some extra wonky physics and stuff like that. Now, I agree the result is great, but I do understand that the research for that type of content can be long, making it kind of hard to produce consistently. All right, I'm aware. All right, number two, and pretty easy when it comes to research, pretty easy when it comes to recording and publishing. Fun facts about video games. If your niche is one specific video game or one genre of video games, you can just look up on Google a couple of facts and then put together a couple of videos. You can decide to have one fact per video or just do listicles, maybe 5 facts per video, and just research them basically. It doesn't matter if there's other people making that type of content on the same video game. People will watch it for you as long as your presentation is correct, as long as you're entertaining basically. Number 3 is pretty much the same genre, but it's like little things you missed in. People do that for movies a lot. There's a channel called New Rockstars and it's just millions of views every single time. And it's the same thing, except it's gonna be just Easter eggs. So you just go and find Easter eggs. Well, you don't go and find Easter eggs, actually. You just look up Easter eggs on Google. On multiple games, it doesn't have to be one single game. You can have an account that just talks about Easter eggs in every video game. And this is like highly shareable content, pretty easy to research, might be a little lengthy to actually edit because you actually have to find footage and stuff like that, but it's almost guaranteed to have a lot of viewers. Number 4, basic level tutorials. So educational content on its own is usually the easy button. Everyone is always looking for information about a video game or whatever they're doing. I'm saying video game a lot because the typical Twitch streamer is playing video games, but even if it's not, you can do tutorials on whatever your niche is, right? An example that I give a lot is that some YouTubers will buy a game, like they will pre-order a game so they get it when it first comes out, and then they just boot up the game and do the tutorial level, and then they make a video which is basically taking you through the tutorial level, and that video is gonna get 100,000 views because there's a bunch of people somehow that missed the tutorial and are gonna look up how to do this or how to do that. It's gonna be a very, very hot keyword, especially on release date. So that's a cool way of jumping on a trend, making a educational video, and also, you know, it could be also pretty niche if you want it to be. Following on that trend, there's tips and tricks. So still educational, and in this one you can give whatever type of educational content. It doesn't have to be like basic tutorial. It can be like little things that you can do in multiple games. I think this one would work better if you just stick to one game, but I can also understand that you might run out of content if you just stick to one game. So try to balance it, I would say. Still on the educational trend, this is gonna be level specific. This is really niching down on the whole tips and tricks or tutorials, is to really go like level by level, how to beat this, how to beat that. I think a good way of gathering information for that type of video is to watch speedrunners play the game so you can actually figure out. So it might be a little lengthy, but if you actually enjoy your game and that's the game that you play and you're niching down to that specific game, watching speedrunners play that game is gonna give you a bunch of tips and tricks, and in that case, you might even end up making original content without having to research on Google or whatever. It's gonna be your actual tips and tricks that you found from speedrunners. If you credit the speedrunners, it's gonna be even better. Okay, out of the educational type, even though I didn't write the list in like any specific order, there is narrating and storytelling. There is something that I've discovered, well, I didn't discover it, but I noticed on TikTok, for example, is that if you upload a gameplay clip, which is, you know, what everyone is doing, which makes them not that interesting, doesn't give them personality at all, even if the clip is amazing, it doesn't make you want to follow the person. You just watch some cool Apex clip. Okay, you're not gonna follow the person for that. Simply narrating and doing the storytelling aspect of that same clip is actually gonna get you followers because it gets people more involved. Of course, once again, you gotta work on your narration, you gotta feel excited. I accidentally posted like an Octane clip where I was like trying to get in as many information as possible, and then I ended up sounding like Octane without even knowing it, and people said it in the comment. They were like, oh my god, real life Octane. I was like, wow, I could definitely like capitalize on that trend where you could maybe even role play as the character. That is, if you're actually talented, you can actually role play as the character that you were playing, and then maybe narrate it as if it was from the point of view of that character in that moment. That probably sounds fun to you right now, so make that content. But in general, you could edit down a match. For example, I'm saying Apex because that's what I play, but a match of Apex Legends in one 1 minute video and just tell the story of that match until it ends. Just make it exciting, make it interesting. We were in this fight and then I really thought that was it, but my teammate came in with the clutch and blah blah blah. That gets people excited, and it doesn't matter if the match was amazing or not, but you narrating it makes it 10 times better than someone who just posts the clip for you to watch them 1v3 a team. All right, I think that gets in the education category. It's basically the news and update with specific games. So again, that is very niche, one specific game. Every time there's an update, a patch, you need to read the patch notes. You need to keep people updated. Basically, you're kind of a journalist for that specific game. YouTubers will often find like secret changes in a game that are not written in the patch note. That would be super interested for you to keep your audience up to date with. And honestly, you get extra points if you go out of your way to show footage of the changes. Most games like Overwatch will have like a PTS, like like a test server basically, where you can actually test the new changes versus the old one on the normal servers. So if you actually show like a side-by-side, very interesting content, will maybe take a bit longer to make, but definitely worth it for some quality content and very interesting content to watch. Okay, let's pull away from video games a little bit, and I understand that some people might not be interested of making content about the game that they play because they just don't feel like it. That's fine. One thing that you can make content about is your life, and hold on before you start saying, oh my god, I'm too boring, I don't know what I would do. There's so many things that you do that normal people don't do. If you have a specific hobby like live streaming, you do a lot of things that your friends do not do, and you can make content about that actually appeals to everyone. You buy very specific gear that do very specific stuff. You have a very specific sleeping schedule. You can make a video basically just relatable stuff with people from your niche, and things in it will be kind of educational for people who are not in the niche because they will discover those things about you, making you interesting. So a video like a day in the life of a live streamer, it doesn't have to be real. It can be humoristic, you know, it can be comedy where you basically fake the perfect life of a live streamer. I've seen people do it before where they would be like, oh, I wake up at 4 a.m. and then I do this, and it's just fun. You quickly realize that this is not true. This is just a parody of this. But most likely, if you're a live streamer, you probably have some gear, you probably have a setup, you probably have a lot of things to show. So just chill content like, hey, this is what I use to do this. This is what I do after I'm done with my stream. This is how I prepare for my stream. This is how I mentally prepare for my stream. This is my checklist before I live stream. This is what happens during the stream. Those are the things that I dislike while I'm live streaming. Those are the things you should never say in chat when I'm live streaming. Don't tell me about my viewer count because I keep it hidden. Don't tell me you're leaving because someone else went live. Don't try to compliment me in the form of degrading other content creators. And this is just one example of things that you actually do that you can put in a little story, in a little vlog, a mini vlog, and post. And it would be super interesting, even for people who do the exact same thing. All right, in the same vein, tech and setup reviews. Basically, you can either show off the tech that you already have, and every single time you buy new tech, you could do a mini review. That not only is interesting for people who are getting into the same hobby as you or the same, career as you, but on top of that, it might get the attention of other companies that might want to send you stuff. Believe it or not, this is how you get like some sponsorships. This is how you get free stuff sent to you. This is how you get, well known as a tech reviewer. I say as there's boxes that I need to throw away because I've been doing too many tech reviews. And also in my other videos, I mentioned that this might be a way to generate some income. If you have like an Amazon affiliate link, boom. As I said in my other videos, that might even be a way to add additional income to your, your whole career thing. If you have some affiliate links, you put them in your description and it's accessible to everyone. Every time you post, every time you buy something, you make a video about it, and then your following can click on the link and buy it, and you make a commission. Sometimes just making a video about the product will pay for the product. Or you're buying some new cute keycaps for your keyboard, making a video about it might actually make you enough money to pay for 10 keycaps or 10 keyboards. So you'll get to a certain point where treating yourself will literally bring you money. All right, let's dive back into video games real quick. Challenges and fun ways to play the game. So we all know the dude bro that plays Warzone and all that. We all know the regular way of playing those video games. Now, setting yourself up with some challenges might be more interesting and more entertaining to watch. Let's say I'm playing a battle royale game because they're popular. I need to finish with only pistols. Boom. Hey, I need to win without doing any damage. Specific types of weapons, melee only using a character's ability. Those are just ideas that I'm coming up with right now, but if you sit down, you can probably come up with some very, very fun challenges. Oh, you're not allowed to jump, or you can only crouch, you can only walk, you can't run. If you mix this with the whole narration, storytelling that we talked about, this is a fun video to watch. Hey, here's how I won a game in Apex without using any weapons. That's actually an idea for a live stream, and then you can turn that live stream into short form content. Come on, you guys are gamers. I shouldn't be telling you that. You don't need me to give you those ideas. You should be able to come up with them yourself. Another type of content that will probably drive a lot of interaction, and this is purely the goal of that type of content, is to do tier lists. So no effort whatsoever. You're gonna pick make a game and you're gonna be like, hey, here's the tier list of the weapons, here's the tier list of the characters, here's the tier list of specific games from a franchise and stuff like that. So it doesn't even matter what the list is. To be honest, if you want even more interaction, I would probably go with some controversial listing methods. Therefore, you know people will disagree, so they'll probably comment to tell you how wrong you are, and hey, that boosts you up on every platform. Another thing you can do is straight up game reviews, especially cool with indie games because it gives exposure, but like just little game reviews, very short. Hey, I played this game, this is what happens, the main character does that, here's how the gameplay. You might like write down the criteria that you might, I don't know, give a score if you want to. People like the scoring system, and just tell your opinion on a video game. Make sure that you play the game actually, so you can have a real opinion about it. But on top of that, you could mix this with the whole news part, the whole reporter part of it. So you could tell people about upcoming games and tell them how excited you are about them, and then when they come out, you come out with a review and moving on to game comparisons. If you feel like there's similarity between two games, you can make a video just listing the differences between video games. People play Warzone, that's a battle royale game. People play PUBG, that's a battle royale game. Oh my god. And then people play Apex. I believe, I think PUBG is free now, right? I don't remember. I paid like $40 for it. You could just make a video being like, here are the main differences between those games, because some people who don't play this game might be curious. It is also super interesting to know what makes a specific game in a genre like stand out. All right, one for the artsy fartsies is in-game photography or filmmaking. I've seen this one on TikTok and I was pretty impressed. Is basically like you're trying to create this narrative. You can create little stories. Games like Red Dead Redemption do this like, it's just beautiful. I don't play Red Dead and I've seen a lot of those and they're all super cool. It's just like if you know a little bit about filmmaking and you can take beautiful shots, or just photography, or you do a little bit of Photoshop and editing, I think that's very, very interesting and gives like a good homage to that specific game. Open world games obviously are going to be the best thing for that type of category. I believe you could just sit here and film a time lapse, and that's just what you do. You have GTA, go sit somewhere in the map, film a time lapse, post it, and then go somewhere else on the map, and you could make an account called The Beauty of GTA 5. Next is for the games that allow you to be a little bit creative. It's basically showcasing things that you can create in the game. Things like fashion, for example. If you can dress up your character, you can just do a fashion show with all the characters that you can make. Still thinking about Red Dead. If you can customize a car in the game, boom, car showcase, just showing off your garage. If you can do housing, interior decoration, as well as exterior decoration, but also like, you know, building and crafting, that is something that you can also showcase. I play Valheim and I watch a ton of videos that are basically time-lapse of people building buildings. It's a game set in the Viking era, so people create like traditional Viking houses and stuff like that, but people will create like modern houses with like a pool, and it's amazing. Or hey, I'm gonna build a house in a forest and it's gonna look so cool. I'm gonna build like a bar, I'm gonna build furniture in the game. And anyone who plays that game, this is very interesting content. Those videos usually get from 100,000 to 1 million views. Okay, next one I wrote down movie reference to game, and I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot what I meant by that. Is it like Easter eggs in movies that reference video games? Is that what's going on? Are you looking for references to video games in movies? I have no idea, but hey, I'm telling you about it to come up with something. And then the last thing that I have written down, and you know, this took me like 20 minutes to come up with those ideas, is edits. But edits, not necessarily, hey, you playing super well, although you can, but just any type of edits. There are some fan edits of characters that you can do, and people who love that character, they're gonna relate. The advantage here is that you are touching a fan base that already exists, that is already super large, you know, especially if you go with a popular game. So if you do something, an edit with one character, most likely there's tens of thousands of people that love that character. And the people who don't like that specific character are gonna be in your comments telling you, hey, can you make an edit with that character? That's my favorite character. and then boom. But of course, if your whole thing is gameplay, you can make some edits about your gameplay. Just make it creative, you know, maybe like put a hype beat and then every frag is to the beat or things like that. One thing I want you to know is that we're not trying to make content that is necessarily super duper impressive and super big brain and super original. We overthink that kind of stuff way too much, way too much. So what we want to do is just entertaining content, if possible, and that would be like the gold. Make content that is bingeable, content that every time someone sees you pop up on their feed, they know they will click on that content because it's gonna be interesting, it's not gonna last too long, it's part of their daily routine to watch your videos. If you have extra talent, like you know, someone told you, hey, you have a cool voice, you should think about doing voice acting. Use that to your advantage. People are like, oh wow, I love the way you draw. You should, you know, do commissions, blah, blah, blah. Boom, you have an advantage over people who can't draw. You can use that to your advantage. Everyone has a little something in them that makes them stand out, and some people have a lot of things that make them stand out and some advantages, and you absolutely have to use those. If you just coincidentally happen to look good, show your face in your videos. And if you're not ready for all that yet, I completely understand. I made a video about how you can convert your Twitch clips into TikToks like super easy by using either desktop or even your phone. So you can start there. But I want you to understand that the goal is not necessarily always funneling all the traffic that you get towards your Twitch channel. It's mostly just expanding your horizon. Maybe you're gonna get like a super huge contract with a company, but they only want you to produce TikToks for them. But maybe the deal is so sweet that it might involve, you know, not streaming as much, or it doesn't have anything to do with streaming. But it doesn't matter. Your career as a content creator still took off. So the idea of putting your eggs in different basket is true, is what I'm trying to tell you to practice. I was recently flown to South Africa to speak on stage about being a content creator, and I know that wouldn't have happened if I was just some guy on Twitch playing video games, which I am. Some guy on Twitch playing video games. Follow me on Twitch. I have a recent TikTok video that got a bunch of views recently, and it has to do with reviewing VR nightclubs. I get sent free tech all the time because one day I decided, hey, I should make a video every time I buy my own tech, which is something that live streamers are doing all the time. Also, I made a separate tech channel. I'm trying to do less tech reviews on this channel. There is definitely a percentage of luck when it comes to being a content creator. Every single day you have to wake up and basically guess what your next move should be. And if you guess wrong, then it might be very detrimental to, you know, the end salary. But the luck only comes when you actually open the door to those opportunities. So that's the message that I'm trying to send. For anyone who say that they're serious about being a content creator, first of all, it is time to actually commit and do everything that you can in order to make it work. From there, you can come up with a plan, try to execute it, and adjust it along the way until it fits you and it fits your goals. If you have any idea for content or things you've seen work in the past, leave them in the comment section below. I have been Gal Level, and I thank you all so much for watching this video. Go out there, make me proud. Gal Level, out.